I, Dr. Joseph Martin, part two of our discussion on the astral plane, the soul, dreams, and higher frequencies of the fourth dimension. This topic now, part two, is called Neuroplasticity, Emotional Transformation, Mental Growth, and How to Attain Superconsciousness. Now, first, let me just give a little recap of what I was saying prior. Now, some scientists today in the early 21st century might say, strictly from a physical perspective, that there is no evidence for the fourth dimension or these astral planes or so on. That couldn't be farther from the truth, and I'm sure in 50 or 100 or 150 years, all physical scientists on planet Earth will come to realize what's been known by other cultures and traditions for tens of thousands of years. So while the astral plane and the astral bodies and the astral soul and the aura may be imperceptible to someone using their third dimensional logic of the left brain only and just the rational cogitation, it is true to say that in those people who have fourth dimensional intuition, who use the combined left brain, right brain connection through the corpus callosum, and through the development of intuition, that they can perceive auras, astral bodies, astral spirits, astral realities of higher frequencies. Some quantum electrodynamic physicists, and I've been reading a lot of Richard Feynman these days, know that the higher radiations, which we're looking at, the higher cycles per second, frequencies of gamma rays, for instance, are now part of what we look at when we do brain research. Before we thought there were beta, alpha, theta, and delta waves, and now we see that gamma rays actually have a large input when we do meditation and yoga. More of that later in this video. Now, Newton, for instance, who was the founding father of our science of mathematics and physics and gravity and so on, and the laws of thermodynamics and motion in the universe, also was a mystic and intuitive, as we know now from all his diaries and letters. And he had a fourth dimensional intuition that could look into the future and predicted things 400 or 500 years ahead of his time. As well, Einstein, who is the greatest physicist of our time, with his theory of relativity and the interrelationship between light and matter and the speed of light and matter, and how matter is just actually condensed light, and his theory that shows that time and space are just one continuum and can warp and woof into other dimensions. From his theory of relativity is actually all fourth dimensional or astral, and we know that Einstein himself was a very deeply intuitive spiritual man when you read his diaries and letters and his aphorisms. All of this is quite self-evident. So physicists have a lot of great shoulders to stand on when it comes to intuitive mystical physicists in our last 300 or 400 years. Gamma rays is an interesting place to start. Neuroplasticity. In the last 10 or 20 years, it's come to our awareness that in terms of the development of individuals and their brains, that we're no longer are they thought to be stuck in what they were when they were born, but actually that things change over time, and the brain can be more possibly plastic, in the sense it's a symbolic definition. It can create neurogenesis or change its firing patterns and so on, both in the synaptic part of the brain and the non-synaptic part of the brain, mostly in the prefrontal cortex, but also in the cerebellum and other places as well in the brain. All parts of the brain, in fact, can respond to changes in experience. The key is here that it doesn't start in the physical third dimensional realm. No, that's the end result. It starts in the experience in the fourth dimension. And what kind of experiences are we talking about? Well, primarily we're talking here about, as a psychologist and a neurophysiologist, speaking about the fact that when you change the emotions that are blocked and stuck in the brain chemistry and also the neurophysiology, and I'm speaking of anger, rage, sadness, grief, loneliness, depression, fear, dread, and terror. These are unconscious emotions which we know do reside and are blocked in a crystalline pattern in certain hormones and proteins and joints as well in the physical body. These are also karmic. They are brought forward from past lives, which is all fourth dimensional reality. We bring forward from the past, in our past lives, what we have not yet cleared, and that's the reason for being here in a new incarnation, is to work on the inner process of emotional transformation in order to free up the physiology, the endocrinology, the biochemistry of our body, to free up the energy so that it becomes free-flowing chi or prana, as we say in Eastern traditions, and also to move the energy to a higher frequency within the nerves, muscles, cells, organs, and tissues of the body. By the way, I had said in the previous video that there are 7 major realms in the fourth dimensional astral plane and 49 subsections. These 7 realms correspond obviously to the 7 chakras of the body from Ayurveda and TCM, and also the Book of Revelation, as Edgar Cayce has a book outlining how the 7 parts of Revelation, the 7 veils, the 7 doorways, are all part of this experience that we're talking about here. Aside from the necessary emotional transformation energetically to open up your body, and that will have a huge impact on your neurochemistry and your neurogenesis of a new neuroplasticity. We also need to look at mental growth. Well, how does that happen? We need to get out of the little mental boxes we've been socialized and enculturated into, and we need to be much more cross-culturally open to other languages, other cultures, and religions, and create a higher value system and a worldview, a unified worldview. When we develop our mental consciousness to the fact of creating a unity of awareness instead of the fractionated kind of mental compartments that most people live in. So it's like opening all the doors and windows of the mind. There are many ways to do this. Of course, traditionally, over thousands of years, yoga and meditation and mantras and mudras, deep breathing, nostril breathing, all are most important in this way, which is why we love doing Kundalini Kriya I Am Yoga, an ancient technique brought back to this time by Paramahansa Yogananda through his root guru Babaji Nagaraj. And so the mental growth and movement towards superconsciousness and Christ consciousness and eventually cosmic consciousness will happen for you when you open all the parts of your mind and unify it. Take down the walls and the floors and the doors and the windows and just allow your mind to explore the exceedingly expansive and adventuresome reaches of inner space, which is the same as outer space. The fourth dimension will show you in your experience that outer space is really just a mirror of your inner space. And what you'll want to do is open to the mental awareness of a deepening higher unity consciousness of the one unified field, as we say in physics, of the energy field of the fourth dimension and higher dimensions, but that's for another video. So we say that what we've got so far is the neuroplasticity comes from emotional transformation and mental openness and growth, but it also means developing your willpower. So on a daily basis, have a regimen and a strategy whereby you work with yourself and you do things that are good for you. You have positive mental thoughts. You may need to do some neuro-linguistic programming and training to process all the negative thoughts in the subconscious and the conscious mind into only positive thoughts that are self-affirming, life-affirming, love-affirming, positivity and growth-oriented for the present and into the future, and in all the domains of the fourth dimension, which pervade the universe. And along with the willpower, the determination and the courage and the regimen every day, if you do things for at least 21 days, you know it will change your mind and will have a beautiful neurogenesis of neuroplasticity in the physical brain, which is the end point of doing all this emotional, mental, and willpower work. Exercise is important. You know that when you do your daily exercise, at least 30 minutes, if not 60 minutes, and you do your yoga and meditation 3 or 4 times every day, it will have the effect of releasing those wonderful endorphins and enkephalins and dopamines, which are these natural highs that the brain and the neurochemistry of the brain create when you do these things. You think positively, you feel good about yourself, you do your yoga meditation, you do your exercise. These natural brain chemistries will enhance and enlarge and be secreted even more than ever before. And that's how the brain will change in its neuroplasticity and grow and develop and evolve. And that's the goal for being here on planet Earth in this physical form, or as I said, the car that is being driven by you, the soul in the fourth dimension. Now, that may be a lot to take in. It's quite exciting, though. In my own meditations, I can say that as I focus and I close my eyes and I focus on the point between the two physical eyes, which is an admirable and long-standing technique that we do in yoga meditation, is to see the gamma rays of light coming through from the fourth dimension into my physical brain and experience them as a rush of electricity and electromagnetivity through my sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems of my body, giving me great energy and youthifying myself, revivifying myself, making me feel young, energized, and excellingly strong and courageous in my physical form, as well as in my mind, my soul, and my spirit. These are the benefits of doing all these things that we've been talking about, and that is the real goal for being here. Remember, Dreamwork is essential as well, because the fourth dimension is where your soul wants to explore and remember past times, other places it's visited, other people that are loved, those who have transitioned, or loved ones transitioned into the fourth dimension of the astral plane, and some awaiting further instructions and healing learning temples there, some awaiting rebirth here on the first level of the third domain of the earth. And there you can also plan and look at your soul contract and why you came here. Why did you come to planet Earth this time? Why are you here? What is it you came to accomplish? What is it you came to learn? What is it you came to change? What is it you came to grow into? And to become the full self-master. That's really the goal for every one of us here on this planet. I encourage and inspire you in all that you do and all that you are, just to be the love you are and to think big. Go big or go home, as we say, and do all the things that you know you can do. These techniques of emotional transformation and mental growth and transformation will help you turn fear, all the fears you have, into love, courage, strength, decision, and action on behalf of your self-mastery every day. I hope this has been useful for you in understanding how we can easily evolve and grow as an individual being in our psyche and our soul by utilizing all our knowledge, intuition, and wisdom that comes to us from the fourth dimension. Remember the saints of old and the archangels and the angels, they do live in the higher realms of the fourth dimension. They are always there for you. They are masters in their own right. All the great ones we've known historically here on planet Earth and elsewhere, they will support you in your ongoing endeavors for self-mastery. The fourth dimension is the key. All the universe, in terms of astrophysics and cosmology, is evolving into a higher frequency of all of the higher rays or radiations. And in that place, we also here on Earth, the Earth herself is an astral form, as all the planets are in this solar system and elsewhere. The Earth Mother herself, in her astral body, is emancipating and freeing and evolving herself by moving from a third-dimensional, strictly physical Earth that we would think of if we were only in our logical brain, to a fourth-dimensional realization and superconsciousness of herself as the Earth Mother in her fourth-dimensional way of healing all the challenges that we've created for her. We can, as individuals and communities and globally, as a one people, sisters and brothers of the earth, enhance ourselves by uniting our consciousness and our heart in the fourth dimension and in the third in reality with the Earth Mother. All things are evolving into the fourth dimension at this time in the 21st century. So, much more to discuss. I'd love to hear from you anytime. All love and blessings to you. Remember to work with the dream time. The dream time is where your soul resides. In meditation, you can listen to your soul, and she will tell you what you need to be, do, and have right now. The one thing that you need for this moment, and the three things you need for this day. All love and blessings on your path. Blessings manifold as you evolve and grow. Dr. Joseph Martin. All love.